Well, it all started out that Netflix saw Who Am I, our movie that was really popular here in Germany, and they really liked it, and they just kind of approached us because they were interested in us as filmmakers, and they had the idea that we could make a series out of Who Am I, but we weren't really interested in that and wanted to do something else. So they asked us if we had any other ideas, and we opened our drawers basically and just looked what was in there, and we were developing or had developed a TV series that was much more like a crime drama and didn't have any...
Like The Missing, the UK show?
A little bit more in that direction. But it had been, it's like an old thing, and we were kind of bored by it already anyway, so we thought, okay, we need something to spice this up, we need one more element. And we were also working on a time travel movie at the same time, so we had all this stuff on the table and thinking, okay, so what are we going to pitch Netflix? And they were just lying next to each other, and we were like, okay, how about we merge those two? And that's when suddenly the spark was there, and we were like, oh my god, that is such a cool idea, and then that could happen, and we were immediately triggered by the idea, and so we pitched it to Netflix, and they jumped on it.
And so what made you decide to collaborate again together? Because obviously you've worked together before on Who Am I?
Well, we are also a couple, and we have a daughter, so...
Oh wow, I didn't know that!
There was no way.
There was no way that we don't do that together, but we actually like that very much, to work together and to know each other so well after 15 years, because we can bullshit each other, to be honest. Like, if I try to sell an idea, she can always say like, well, Bo, you just want to be in a helicopter and shoot this thing because you want to be in a helicopter. And I would try to sell it like, but it's important for the story that we have this wide shot over the forest. So this is very helpful for us. And you can collaborate in a completely different way if you know each other as well against the others. Like, this is really like, we're this strong couple together, and alone much weaker, I would say.
I guess you can be honest with each other. So I'm fascinated by your writing process, because it's just such a big multi-layered idea. Did you start off with the whole idea, or did it start smaller and did it get bigger and bigger?
It's really difficult to explain, because it's kind of like a fog and there are like, sometimes it clears and you have those images. It's like you don't know everything, but you have kind of like those places where you want to go at. But then also this transforms while you're in the process. So I really like trusting the process, like to have an initial idea, but then have it be two parts. One is really structure it, think about it, do your research, and the other one is completely let go of the bullshit that that happened on that side, and let's just see what comes out of you. And it's always jumping back and forth, allowing yourself to actually be surprised in the process as well. Because if you have it all laid out, it's gonna feel boring because you already know what's going to happen. So sometimes you go somewhere, but then, oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna take another turn and just go there. So I think you have to be open to just be surprised.
And as a director, what was the hardest practical effect to achieve? Because I can't help but wonder how you did all of the birds, the poor dead birds, falling from the sky.
Well, that's yeah. We killed 400 birds and threw them at the actor. No, that's actually visual effects, But for example, that shot was challenging because we shot it in one shot, like in one single shot without editing. I'm a really fan of that. But the most challenging part was actually the length of the project and the shooting days. That at the end was about 150 shooting days. To survive that and to spend your energy wisely on certain problems is it's very different to making a feature film, for example. And to really enjoy to get back on set every day, and even on shooting day 100, and just to have that energy. That was the most challenging thing for everyone, I would say. And we were shooting this whole thing like it was a big long movie. So we shot in a location chronological way and not an episodical chronological way. So we shot everything in the forest first, and then in the school and stuff like that. So for actors, it's very challenging because you basically have 3 scenes a day where you play something from episode 1, 3, and 10. So you do a big arc on just only one shooting day. So that was also very challenging, I think.
And there's a lot of different messages that the audience could learn from this, whether it be about Einstein's theory on time, or, you know, avoid going into woodland areas at night, in German areas at night. What would you like an audience member to come away with?
What we always wanted to do is create something that if you really like switch yourself on, that there are a lot of ideas and theories out there you can really ponder and think about, and it's so interesting. There's so much stuff out there regarding reality, time, human behavior, where do we come from, where do we go, what is this all, and just to give the audience the possibility to, you know, just think about some of that stuff. I think that's what we really like. But then again, you can also be just switched off and just be on it for the ride. That's fine as well. But I think if you want to really take something out of it, I think it's there.
So a lot of people are comparing this to Stranger Things. How do you feel about that?
In a good way, because we're compared to a good show, you know, and the Duffer Brothers and us, we are basically from the same generation. We watched the same movies and read the same stuff, and I guess it looks like we're influenced by the same things, and we're influenced by Stephen King, they're influenced by Stephen King, and you can see that in their work and in our work. So it's actually pretty good, and if just half of the Stranger Things audience will watch Dark, we have a huge hit.
Yeah.
And just finally, if you could go back to 1986, what would you do?
What would I do?
I would get those neon Creole earrings and a pink dress. I just go dancing.
I would actually enjoy The Cure. My sister's 5 years older than me, and she was obsessed with The Cure, and I hated The Cure back then. But I would go back and really enjoy The Cure because it's an amazing band.
That would be a great outing with you and your dangly earrings and dresses going to see The Cure. Anyway, I've got...
We have fallen in love like that. Who knows?